Okay. Let's just double check that my audio is correct. Yeah, looks okay. Hopefully you should be able to see me, you should be able to hear me okay. If you watch my stream regularly, I might sound better than usual, or at least clearer than usual. I hope so, anyway. Let me know if there are any problems in the chat. So, it's been an interesting time. Config. Let's push this up and then we'll have another quick look and muse at things. So we have this room and this bad guy over here that is too it's too defensive for us to fight. But if we cast that, then we have no trouble. That's a visual glitch that I should fix while we're here. Return. Well, slots is equal to slots.toList. So then we can do that, and then selection equals slots index. Take that one out. Return slots index, because we're picking it. Oh. Not quite. I need a way to categorize entities so that you can't target arbitrary things. Which is not too bad. Because you could basically have oh, well, you could do it in a couple ways. You could have a the world could have a group system, so you could say, give me entities in this group that fulfill these conditions. That might be better. But then you do have to go and update that. So we'd have get entities in group. And it would basically be like how do you specify which group it's in though? That's a question. I don't think I want it in there. Yeah, the world probably won't care for the moment, just to keep it a bit clean. I've already messed in there too much, but instead we'll have the dummy be like this dot types, and it can be a list, and in the list we will have creature enemy, perhaps for now. And then we can do menu return entity.has types and entity types dot includes and what's the list type got in everything includes? Contains. Contains. Deck. Let's try that. See what breaks a lot. That has to be there for reasons. Okay, so if I do that, card does not implement target. It doesn't. We'll do that safety check there. Six. Why is that an N? What? If like that. Yeah, we can do that. And there are no valid targets, but if I do this, that's a valid target. Hello there. If you've just joined, let me know how you're doing. but it works. Because you can cast the dark card. Although your defense is already 0, so that would actually make it worse, which could be reasonable. Pardon me. I don't know if there's any use in allowing negative values for the statistics. Entity player. So for example, does it make sense to have negative defense and attack stats? And will it ever make sense to have that? Probably not, but in which case we should be applying a clamp here. Math 4M. That was a little odd. Okay, that's fine. Menu. Like that. So now, let's start this. Added target filtering based on self-declared text. Ideally, some effects are temporary rather than persistent for the end of time. So I need a way of checking, well, recording the duration and recording the duration and then removing it when it's done. So because we actually store the mods here, duration equals null. duration equals duration minus 1. Like that. And then we go through for modifier in mods dot values. Well, actually, we do it the other way. We do. No, we don't need to. Modifier dot tick. If modifier dot duration is equal to 0, then we can do. What did I call it? Is it remove? Remove modifier.id. So now I just need a end of turn thing. Core director. T.end turn like that. Action dot. Whereas here we can basically do actor.intern. But there's actually problems with this, so I'm not totally happy with it. Oh no, it's fine, it's fine. Because then we can do intern this stats dot tick. And we can do the same thing here. And then we just need to Go to the factory. Duration. So let's say that the duration is 3 of its turns. Oh, one of its turns even. So if it moves... Ooh, question is, do we care about it from... Oh, that's awkward. Should a condition care about the source or the target? Because you might cast a thing and then the effect will expire the moment that it moves, which is straight after that moment. So really you want it to be on your turns instead. So maybe this approach is very slightly off. Ugh. Well, we can try it for now to make sure that everything else is working on that end turn stuff. So if I cast the dark, 3, 4, 5, and it appears to have gone. But if I do it in time, then it's fine. So that logic seems to work at least. It's just in the wrong place. Or based on the wrong entity, I suppose. Actions, apply modifier. So instead, source can this is going to be active effects. Modifier. And then each I guess, yeah, so this would now be wrong, but you do. There's active effects. For effect in there, do effect dot tick. But then it doesn't update the thing it's actually included in. Ugh. So we need to store slightly more than that. make it into a tuple. And we'll use the ID because they may get destroyed before that. Sorry, lost in thought about a future problem. Because using IDs works fine until you start reusing IDs. And then you have weirdness happen. If effect dot duration is equal to 0. Then target stats dot remove modifier modifier dot ID. Remove ended modifiers. Maybe. Yeah, we'll do it like that for now. So then, I think that's all. Entity player. Do you need to have one of those? Right, so start events dot add target is no longer affected by modifier.id. Import events for log event. Oop. Why is it null? It's because there isn't a source, that's why. Okay, so now yeah, that's fine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That all seems to work now as expected. Lovely. So now we can set conditions that end on our turn at the right time, which is at the end of the turn. I guess we'll do a start turn hook as well, just in case. That's trickier though, because you can't roll back properly. So there's no way to be sure if you should be starting the turn. So we might have to actually not do that. Added end turn entity hook. probably want to build up a better infrastructure for having active effects that aren't so that you can do things like fantastic logging and animation and firing events off and similar. So but that seems okay. Conditions can be inflicted and aimed after end turns. I suppose we could actually make it toggleable so that it's their turns or your turns. That's probably a good idea. First of all, that's never used, so that's not true. Responsible. Responsible. Would be the factory. Responsible. I guess you could just make it a boolean, because it's either the source or the target. It's never going to be anyone else. So if it's the source, okay. so by default, I would be responsible, but that causes problems right now. Ah. It's because we're trying to evaluate that before we've bound it. True, doesn't. Oh yeah, because it doesn't actually have a thing. Just tell me. That's odd. Oh, it's because it's ticking the wrong thing. Yeah, at this point we need a shared implementation. this is a creature, and this is a creature. Import entity creature. Like that. Speed is implemented, and turn is implemented already. That gets implemented. There. Just pulling this stuff up. This types dot add enemy. This stats dot set mana 0, max to be 0. Seems okay. This needs a closing bracket. This has got a higher defense, so we increase that to 1. The speed is wrong now. Vim entity dummy. Set speed to be 1. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it resets there. I have a slight dilemma with that though, which is that basically if you just inflicted a thing and you're responsible for it, then it probably shouldn't be end of turn because you want it to be to the end of the next turn. But if it's been put upon you, then you do want it to be on your turn, on your first turn, not the second. Because then they would act as if they're the same length of time. So what I have at the moment, where it's a duration of 2, is actually wrong here. It's just that the behavior is wrong also. Pulled logic into creature class. Tricky, very tricky. I guess what we need to do is go to the stats, extend in duration is equal to duration or 0 plus 1. Well, plus n. If host is equal to source, then modify dot extend by 1. And that clears on the first go. And then if I do the config target source 1 2 1. Yeah, that's what you want. So it means that you have to be more careful about your ordering of things, because some stuff could expire straight away or very soon after. Nice. Extend, let's get and duration is now uniform regardless of effect host. Oh, I think I ran out of my music playlist. Not quite, I just stopped there. Weird. Cool. So, let's just take stock and review where we are. We have a deck. The hand does stuff. We have a decent visual representation of things being played. We can deal with combat statistics generally. We don't have an attack animation or even a card playing animation. That might be nice to do for a bit. But mechanically there's interesting stuff to do now. And we could also go through and start implementing cards, which might also come under this. That might be the right thing to do here. Because what we could do is yank this. ATK, add 1, make it for 3 turns. One, two. That was unusual, but it makes sense. So then we would need to do That's obviously passing the actual thing, which is expected to know up front, so in this case we'd have to deduce it. Sure, alright. So play card is equal to oh, that's interesting though, because we don't actually necessarily know what the card is until this point here. So then we have to be like, if no target, then target is equal to source by default. Well, no, it would be well, there's a few different options. Auto select target based on card data. That's really unsettling for me though, because obviously we've got now this logic is in a few different places. Not a fan of that, but if selected card dot target like that. Else do something. Let's see if that works for now. Every time. See, it doesn't actually apply the card target to me. I forgot the actual action. Good job. Cool. So you might go 1, 2, 3, use the sword, and then 4. But you also might go 1, 2, 3, 4, did nothing, 5 does nothing, 6, there we go. Or if we use the sword, go 1, 2, 3, and then we run out, and then we die. So that all seems to be working as expected. That is fantastic. It'd be nice to know I guess there's linguistic stuff to resolve, like maybe a condition or a modifier is a good thing and it shouldn't be referred to as inflicting. But that's to be decided. Like that. So then positive. No, that doesn't actually do anything with that information yet, though. If modifier.positive, else oh, there's also differences if you're casting it on yourself. There's differences too. But this logic probably won't stay here either, so nah. That all seems to work though. Cool. So then we can basically cheat and copy this block for the shield. And increase our defense by 3. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I cast the shield, then I survive to live another day, and then I can cast the sword and do that, and then I can continue. Oh, that feels really good and really easy now. Just everything can apply modifiers to stuff. That's stupid. Static. Entity is dot has stats and entity stats dot get health is less than or equal to 0. This should be aware. Then for each of those, entity ctx.remove entity. There. Like that. Remove defeated. Remove defeated. Order is important. Oh, it's because it's not called health anymore. At least it works. That's so good. need is a card that would, like, steal life force, I guess. Just to see what happens. So that should have killed it, but it didn't, so. Oh, that'd be why. Oh well, I cannot spell that. What? Duration. Direction. Sounds stupid. Done. There we go. So it's a bit of a cheat way of doing it, but it works. You can kill things by manually forcing their HP to be 0. It's like death. But that would be really strong, so we won't actually allow that straight away. Cool though. Vim stat. Okay, status, git add stats, git commit. We check all entities for HP before killing them. If you want something to happen on the death of the creature, we will need to do something about that though. So yeah, I have to think about that. But that's still pretty good. So that kind of completes those. We're most of the way there with a good hand and stuff. having a sort of predefined list of stuff to do does really help focus. Although there are occasionally times where I don't want to do the things, so I have to think about it for a bit. But I'm glad that I went with this approach. So far it's working out for me, I think. Rather than kind of scattershot implementing systems and hoping that they come together, this staged approach has been going quite well, I think. And it also means that the game actually looks really good at every stage. Like that is vaguely playable looking. However, now this is a good point. Now that we have additional stats and stuff, we should be showing that on the display. So it makes me wonder whether or not I should shrink down the world map and then shove some UI at the top. Maybe. Or I could put it on the bar here. Well, that would be awkward because then the cards would get in the way, so. Because we could do we're probably never going to have an inventory, so I'm just going to take that out for now. Probably 20, and we'll keep the same color for the moment. For the type line. We'll just make a little note here. Draw the card shelf. Draw the top bar. Player stats, menu button, tabs. Because I can basically have little pop-up windows up there for viewing stuff, maybe. As well as the eventual exit menu, maybe. So, if I wanted to print hit points, hit point max point is equal to the player stats dot get hit points and we'll put that at 2 to 32 19, and we'll use the M5X7 font. Look at that. Oh, Max is wrong. It's because I don't like this being lowercase, actually, so it's not how I normally do things, it's not how I'm going to do things. There we go. We could probably do something better than a textual display. It could be some sort of life bar maybe, but it'll do. I thought I just played the sword, right? How did that happen? Let's just reset there for now. Oh, did I That's odd. Is no longer affected by it. Oh. No wonder. There we go. Okay. But that didn't work either, so... And that was a bit odd. it's not picking that up correctly. For some reason it's ending that effect too early. Responsible would be target. There we go. I guess that for some reason... Okay, so... entity source... if we do that, stats, tick. If the duration is not equal to null, oh, I see. I see how it's happening. Okay. It's because I'm extending the duration of everything, even things that shouldn't be extendable. Duration is not equal to null. Then do the thing, please. Null. Those can go. There we are. Helps to put the condition on the end. Right. There we go. Happens instantly, retains, sustains, goes away. Although from a good, like that should stay there, but it's fine. Oh, that's fun. I'm not actually tidying up either. Yeah, people are weird. Entity creature. And then this dot. Active effects dot remove n oh, that was weird. My headphones are probably going to run out of battery, that's the issue. Active effects index of effect. We just do that, and then we're good. Let's just be explicit about the conditions for this, and then we get both ways. So if there's no target, or the modifier is done, please remove this. Cleaning up, modify that ID. Let's just go into the config. The only thing that's missing now, well, not true. Something that I would like to get available is being able to hot reload assets. You can't reload code. Won't allow that. But there's no reason that you couldn't reload graphics and music and config files if you wanted to. And for this sort of thing, it'd be so nice. But we'll see. There's some interesting problems around how you... I mean, there is a way that you could hot reload code, but I don't want to do it at the moment. But that seems to work now. Cool. guess that we can kind of get away without that, since we know there's a target here and that's the only place where it actually matters. If it's done, and there is the target still, and these two do look very similar, so but they're not the same, so they allow to be distinct. But that looks like it works now. Take that out, take that out. Git commit. Modifiers are ended correctly now. It would be single-use modifiers are cleaned up, and permanent ones. No, hang on, let's do it this way. Permanent modifiers aren't ended prematurely and are cleaned up. Nice. So something cool would be to have a zone target rather than individual entities. So that might be nice to have as a future thing, and then the menu, well, the selection UI would basically say, these ones are the problem, and it will like pulse the thing. And then we can emit the UI for each thing. But let's see, so. That's pretty good though. Let's finish off that little touch on the scene. And that'll be 20. Really, it'll be 21, but yeah. Oh no, we could bring it back. We could bring it back. Because the line's a little thicker, it was encroaching too much and it made the text look uneven. That looks a lot better. The question is if it's okay to see that much of the display or if I need to shrink it down. I suppose we can experiment, so Hey Ben, how was your sleep? crazy dream, sad, chaotic, a moment of lucidity, just crazy. That's not great. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes dreams hit you that way, I suppose. I haven't really remembered a dream for a little while now. Occasionally I get them, but I'm very prone to deja vu though, so quite often I'll be doing random stuff in life and then be like, wait a minute, I feel like I dreamed this, and it'll be quite similar, and it'll be like stupidly mundane stuff, so I don't know, brains are weird. Now the targeting UI will be off. Yeah, that's fine. Menu. I need to pull all of these into one place, but total size is equal to 16 by scale. Scale equals 1 now. Oh, cool. I guess if it's positive from your perspective, then that's totally fine. I never quite got into dream journaling, although I tried to at one point, just because I never remembered to do it. That's still wrong. Consistency is hard, you're right. But the best thing to do is just keep trying at it. At the moment, I'm just experimenting with the size of the UI display. I just got card effects to kind of work, which is really exciting. So I'm just sort of distracting myself from that for the moment with a bit of UI stuff, because you know how it is, you got to do the mechanics, then the UI, then the mechanics, then the UI. So you're seeing it in a very slightly broken state, which is very sad, because I'm not sure what the problem is. Oh no, it might actually be okay. It just looks a bit strange at this size. So you can play a card. The card will have a target, and you can swap between targets like this. So you can tab between them. Ideally, you'd also better click on the unit. I need to do that. But you can pick the kind of targets for each card, and then it will apply it. And you can see that I've got stuff going on in my log about it, so and then you can also apply those effects to yourself. So if I use the sword, my attack goes up for a couple turns, and it'll expire on the third turn. And then if I feel like I want to be Zeus, I can cast Thunder on this thing and kill it. So I'm excited, and all of that is just messing with combat modifiers, which is kind of madness, really. The rest of today, and then 3 more days. so I'm feeling a lot better about our chances of doing something great here. There's still a lot of art to do for each of the cards, and then implementing interesting patterns of behavior for the enemies, and the procedural generation, of course, because it's not a roguelike without that. This one room is nice and all, but I need more. And also the actual progression of picking up cards from things that you kill, so... yeah. But I thought I'd do a quick detour just to try and surface up some of the combat statistics a bit. I'm just trying to decide if I like the smaller display of the map, or if that should be the bigger zoomed in version. That's my 2-hour alarm, so I will be taking a break very shortly anyway. Good timing again. We must be on a similar schedule. Yeah, so I don't know, is that better looking? Or is it better to have it at the zoomed up high detail view? Not sure. Anyway, so yeah, we're at a good stopping point. I'm sort of idling anyway, so I think at this point I will make some dinner and eat it. So I imagine that I will be about half an hour, and I'm going to kill the stream for the next half hour while I do that. So yeah, I'll see you all in about half an hour's time. Have a good one.